I am, as my very usual, half asleep today. This guy is a tearing it up. Trying a few new cards today. We're trying a couple immolating glares and a couple rivulets or whatever. You'll hear me call them river over and over because I'm dumb, but yeah. It's today's cards that we're testing. The sideboard and the rest of the deck is the same, so right now we're just swapping out 4 cards. I'm a little afraid the River's life loss will matter, and I'm a little afraid that they're going to make my prairie streams notably worse, which is why I'm only playing 2 instead of 4. But if 2 goes well, we might add a third, and so on, and so forth. Same with the glares. I'm a little afraid to cut the meltdowns because I'm afraid of Hazarets and other gods like Cronus, or even like putting a Scarab God back in their hand. But we'll test it. It's just cards to try. Not too concerned whether I win or lose. Just trying to test a few things to see if the list can be optimized anymore post board. I know the sideboard can be optimized quite a bit. Well, we're missing lands. I guess we'll keep it. Took us a mulligan to 5 to find 2 lands, which is disappointing. Go ahead and play that in case I decide I want to cycle, depending on what deck we see them playing. Teamer, hard match, and they have their best turn 2 drop, which already makes me a little sad. It's going to put us under a lot of pressure fairly quickly. We have no draw 2s or anything in our hand as well. We'll be playing the farmland next turn. Therefore, there's no reason to cycle the Censor this turn. Oh, he gave us something to cast. So we're already taking 1 point of damage from the river. Hopefully it's not that impactful still. Alright, well we're drawing some of the cards we need. It's going to depend a lot on what they have from here. Sure, that's disappointing because now another Hydra is considerably better. Harvester's fun. It's kind of an annoying card, but it's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on the Harvester and take an additional 2 points of damage that I don't really want to take, but think it's the overall best thing to do there. Because we're probably going to have to find a Fumigate. So, being able to stop this post Fumigate seems well worth it. Even though I take 2 more damage into immediate. So we'd be at 22 right now with just the island. Bottom, top, we kind of just want lands at this point. We had a potential. Well, we're keeping to one land that puts us at 4 draws with our draw step, so we're hoping we hit a land there. Or we're hoping we don't have to fumigate, whichever one works better for us. Opponent just conceded. That's surprising. I would have probably at least played long enough to double check and see if I'm on approach, or to double check and see if I'm on Gearhulk. But maybe he just puts us on approach. But this is a less common card. I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of hard to beat them with the approaches post board because they typically bring in 4 negates and they typically have a fairly quick clock. So I've been bringing in the full sideboard package in this match, and this is one of my harder matches, and I could just be sideboarding it improperly. Like, it could just be the sideboard that's holding me back here. I typically don't bring the negates in, but I always bring them over here because I'm trying to think. Like, they're good versus their Chandras, they're good versus opposing negates, but like, I don't really like to bring a sideboard card in to just attack a sideboard card. I think there's some corner cases where you have to do that, but typically I don't think that's a particularly good thing to do. So these are the cards that I'm kind of just considering taking out. Whoops. I generally like keeping the third cast out on the draw. Often I'll 4 of them on the draw, and the Nassif would probably behead me for wanting to take them out on the draw. Also, I'm gonna shave on one meltdown here. But we've already saw vehicles, so that could be bad. There's a good chance he sideboards out some vehicles though, and we do have an hour that can clean up vehicles now. So we didn't get lower on ways to kill a vehicle. If we see like multiple Chandras, there's a good chance that the gates do come in for game 3. They should probably be in now. Well, the river didn't kill us, at least. I do think the opponent conceded a little prematurely, though. Well, this hand's really everything we want. We've got a nice early interactive spell, we've got a draw to, we've got a number of lands, and we have a Wrath. My my Facebook has been getting spammed by bots lately. Now that's kind of interesting, but a lot of these teamer decks have Blossoming Defense in the sideboard, or you could just untap and have a negate. And Loamtusk Cub is one of the best cards at putting early pressure on us. So I want to err on the side of caution in that regard. Maybe a little overkill, but I do believe it's worth it. There's the third cast out, so we're definitely going to be able to cycle some of those this turn. Possibly into a Censor, depending on what he draws, or what he plays. Just going to take this damage. I'm not going to cast out and look for anything because I want him to have Supreme Will on his mind when he chooses what play to play for the turn. But where he played the second forest, I assume he's just slamming a Hydra regardless, or playing around Censor, one of the two. So we cycle a cast out, get a disappointing answer, Cycle a cast out, get a disappointing answer, and we'll have to cycle this too because we really want to hit the land drop. And we didn't hit the land drop because we are not drawing. Wow, we didn't hit a land drop there either. That was just 8 cards. 18 cards deep, can't find a 4th land, so that's disappointing. If he has even a Bristling Hydra, it's too much damage for us to beat now. It's probably too much damage for us to beat either way. So like he attacks for 5, us down to 12, and then he has an additional 8 in play. Probably dead. I guess he can pump that up to 2 as well. Sure. Definitely dead then? So he has 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 that we can see, so anything that gives him energy at all would beat us. Alright. Well, the Blessed Alliance gives us the best opportunity to win here. He's not technically lethal yet, and the Blessed Alliance gives us 4 life and would kill a card. So it could change by 6, which means we can beat a Glorybringer with it. If my math's right, we can beat a Glorybringer with it. So we pretty much have to untap and actually hit. Or my math could just be wrong. Let's see, 4, 8, 4, 12. That's 12, 13. Math's not wrong. I have to hit an untap land. I believe we're a favorite to hit one, but we still have to. This is how this deck loses most commonly. You generally don't lose many games where you just draw lands 1 through 6 or whatever. Massive hit. We'll be at 7 and pretty stabilized though if we hit. Oh, we're dead. That's really disappointing. I think our hand was absolutely great, and I believe if you take any one card out of this hand at random for another land, that we win fairly easily, but sometimes you don't see lands in your top 20 cards. Still think the sensors are slightly better versus them, even on the draw. Yeah, I'm just going to run it back like this. Had 3 lands in our opening hand as well. And we mulligan into a very weak hand. We'll go ahead and put the sensor on top because it can be cycled. So we mulligan to 5 because of lands. We draw 3 lands and then don't really draw another, and then we mulligan again because of lands. Today's already looking like it's going to be just a fantastic day. I'm willing to counterspell a Cub. I'm not sure if I'm willing to counterspell Servant. Nah, I guess I will. I don't really want to deal with a Bristling Hydra on the next turn. I know I could censor it, but really need to just start drawing more cards now. So we need a land pretty badly. That's fine. He's already played his land for the turn, so I'm just going to save the time and go look for my land. Well, we hit a land and approach goes to the bottom. Well, that makes this game significantly harder to win. And a Gearhulk went to the bottom. And the land we found was colorless, so everything's coming up gravy right now. Go ahead and take 3 because I would rather Glimmer than anything. And this gives us a chance to still cast out like a Chandra or a Bristling Hydra if he has either. Oh, can't get the Bristling Hydra anymore. That's what he needed. Well, actually, he has to use that for the green, so. Sure. Well, I kind of need both lands, but taking both lands is a fairly large liability. So we'll just take the white one. Well, we hit a white one. It's exactly the turn of the game that you want to draw a white one. That's for sure. Alright, well, he doesn't have negate mana up, and he doesn't have any real threats in play, to be honest. He still has 6 cards. But we have a cast out and we have a revelation, so whatever he plays post isn't that great. Sure. It's just a Glorybringer, which is fine. By fine, I mean highly disappointing. Well, guess we'll just go ahead and meltdown it while we can. Still have cast out for a more relevant threat, and we can cycle to farmland. But yeah, this game this match went from feeling really good to feeling super bad in just a matter of a couple draw steps, and it's a little disappointing. And cycle to farmland first, because we may not want to cycle to Censor. Well, saved on one that can be used versus a Chandra. Well, he didn't use a negate there, so that's good, I guess. He's got 6 cards in hand, and he's missing land drops, though, so he's got gas for days, so. We're going to have to draw an approach very quickly if we want to have any opportunity to win this match. There's a Chandra, so we're glad we still have this hours. We have this cat in hand that doesn't do a lot. There's only one approach left in our deck that's relevant. The other approach is the 38th card down. I'm not seeing a lot of ways for us to win. Yeah, we're just dead. We have no outs now, I don't think. We have 1 cast out left in our deck. Where do we have 2? We have 2 cast outs left to find. Getting this game confused with the last game where we drew infinite cast outs. buy us a little time, I guess. He can obviously kill it just by minusing Deshandra, but not really anything we can do. I mean, he still has 4 cards in hand. Just mulligan and drew 4 more lands than him, so technically I have like 5 less cards than him. Not a lot we can do in that spot. We have to block or we're dead, so we'll block. If this is a Whirl of Virtuoso, I can't even imagine a way to win. That doesn't do it because our top card is, or we know we can't draw a second approach, so we'd have to find a way to stall. I don't know that we can find a way to stall. And he has to not have a negate on top of all of that. So us being able to win this game seems like a very... If he has a negate, the game's just over. Doesn't seem like a winning proposition for us to win. Or a possible proposition, even. Feel like we're just dead. Anyway. Maybe the next time our opponent won't draw 5 more spells than us. Put up a decent fight, though. Would have liked to play the game 2, but we didn't even get to play game 2, which is disappointing. I think game 2 was a pretty easy win, and I think our opponent made pretty poor decisions, but sometimes you just don't draw a 5th land in 20 cards. I chuckle because it's almost ridiculous that I didn't. Let's pop up the deck list. Nobody in here today at all. Need to get on a little bit better schedule instead of just logging on when I'm in the mood. Versus a 1-3. I wonder what we'll be playing versus. Hand's keepable, but it's pretty terrible. Have to draw about 1,000 lands to make this hand playable. Still think it's a keep, though. We have the 2 interactive spells to draw, so I think even if we'd miss like 1 land, it's fine. Alright, I no longer care whether I win and or lose this match. I'm lagging a little bit. What's up, George? Yeah, there's like 7 people in here. It's about 1/5 of the usual, or 1/4 of the usual. So, do we get to land this time? Or is this going to be another game where we don't really get to play? Yeah, we did. We got to land. We don't even care that it comes into play tap. That's fine. What are you into today, George? You going to Modern tonight? I'm assuming it's too long of a drive for you, but figured I'd ask. Okay, I guess he can resolve whatever he wants. I don't want to lose, or I don't want to miss a land drop. I'm gonna keep them both. I'm gonna discard random arbitrary land of some kind, or one of these spells. So discard that one. You go into the PTQ, yeah, I saw you share that. The PPTQ, sorry. Yeah, well, that's a real card. Now we get to play Let's Find a Cast Out. Or we get to play just find another land and not care. Two of my favorite things to play when I'm playing this deck. Two of my favorite games to play when I'm playing this deck. Target opponent, you choose a creature card from it. Well, there's none of those in our deck. Harsh Scrutiny used to be a pretty sweet card, but Doomfall, sure. You can have whichever one you want. Yeah, the second Doomfall, we've got a problem. Yeah, gonna cast a Hieroglyph here. Because we're just looking for a land, so I'm also gonna gain 4 life. The Glimmer's better to get to the approach quicker again, so. Cycle Desert. I may need to try to find a cast out on this turn to play on Dom Nixilis just in case. Opponent's playing this kind of odd desert control deck. Oh, this is a nice one. Kind of a fan of that card. Second one of those. Sure. That stuff adds up. Oh, definitely don't want that. We'll take this because it lets us win on the following turn. So, assuming no discard spell, that should be it. I got the Supreme Will was technically the top card of the library, yet the Prairie Stream was still drone first in their hand. This deck might want a fourth cast out. Planeswalkers have been an issue. These sweet immolating glares in case he tries to bring the thunder. Sure. We're just going to take it because the Supreme Will is still lethal. Guess he just wants to press F6 or something. You playing Coco, I assume? Oh, I have to tap blue because I'm dumb. My bad. grab our approach. Put them on the order, bottom on any order, don't care. And second sons were approached. I'm probably playing Jun Shadow tonight if I play. He's a mono black deck, so I think Lost Legacy is something that could very well be on his radar. So I'm definitely just going to bring all of this stuff in per usual. Probably going to bring these negates in as well, even though they don't seem very good. He didn't show us creatures. He just didn't show us creatures at all. Other than that one little desert, so. Just going to assume he doesn't have them. I probably shouldn't ever be sideboarding out Censors or Supreme Wills. I think I sideboard out so Supreme Wills and Censors way too often. Especially the Censor. Probably shouldn't ever sideboard any number of Censors out. This sounds fine. It's not the type of hand you write home about, but it is fine. We drew a kitty cat. Meow meow. Huh. Opponent does have creatures. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made. I'm just going to pretend like that creature wasn't in our opponent's deck and it's part of his sideboard conversion plan. Also not worried about that being in his deck. Because we have meow meow. People are still listening after I've said meow meow 1,000 times. Okay, opponent still left in harsh scrutinies. I guess he knew what we were going to do sideboard wise. Kind of odd. Because that was a coin flip to even bring in the creatures. We actually could be in some trouble this game. Still think I want the kitty cat over the Linvala. It comes out a turn earlier. Never mind, we'll get a Linvala too because you can't scrowl Moto. I keep forgetting that. I know that's not technically scrying, but Moto would treat it under the same. Our opponent's just not playing the deck we thought he was playing at all. This game one must have just been some kind of terrible, terrible draw-in. I guess we want one of those, but not both. I guess I should have kept the island. That was probably a bad play. If he follows this up with an Obnixilis, I'll actually be kind of worried. And maybe I won't. We still have the double Linvala. Sure, I don't really want any of the cards in my hand. Losing a Gearhulk kinda sucks, but not really that worried about it. I guess I'm fine with that. I kind of want to lose both of these creatures anyway, so the Linvala itself is better. So we're back above 21, and we have 8 points of flying in play. We'll be down to 19 when he taps the 2 walls. Let's say we're in decent shape now, but I'm probably going to be playing anything, so I don't want to say that definitively. He could just have a removal spell for the Linvala, and then we're not in great shape. Exiles a creature he or she controls. Well, we don't need you. This says when it deals combat damage to me, so I need to keep a blocker for it, right? Yeah, I need to keep a blocker for it seems. Keep the little angel as a blocker. Still have some Blessed Alliances in the deck as well, so. Let's start with the cycle to look for information to see what we're going to find. Then we'll glimmer. We'll just keep both of these. Both of these seem fine. Then we'll cycle this thing. Oh, there's an approach as well. Don't think we need to approach to win, so. Him didn't get to attack any, and just over the course of 3 turns, or sorry, over the course of 5 spells died. I do think Emmett's a good card. It just so happened that that worked out pretty well for us. So that's the little menace dude. We still have a Blessed Alliance for the little menace dude. Not that I think even discarding a card really matters, but it is gaining 4 life. We're also gaining 4 life with this attack, so the walls are no longer relevant, I don't think. And he has no cards, so. Alright. We did control-y things. Kind of feel bad for opponents that are probably playing that deck because of budgetary concerns, yet they still had to pay $8 to play. And people play, I won't say better decks because you never know what brew will be good, but better, more known competitive decks. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for following Johnson Osis. Johnson Osis sounds right. Let's throw the deck list back up. I need to keep remembering to do that because, like, the people on YouTube can't just type !! deck list. They can go to the description down below and there'll always be a link to it, but still. Which reminds me, I need to post today's video. And the match has started. Yeah, we're trying 2 riverlets over islands, and we're trying 2 immolating glares over After meltdowns. I'm not sure. So far, neither of them have really mattered. We took a couple damage off of a rivulet, which sucked, but I kind of want 4 of these, but I'm a little worried that they'll interact so unfavorably with my prairie streams in the early game that it's going to be a liability. And the immolating glare is a better card. So, but the meltdown's better versus Hazoret. So it really is just how many red decks am I going to be playing versus in the format. So today is the 16th. This is the video that I upload in. This hand's fine. We're lacking early interaction, but yeah. I still think it's fun. Some guy on YouTube left a comment asking about the glares, which is why I'm specifically trying the glares. The 40 to Councils looks real bad in this hand. Like the unsummon looks like it would be just much better in this hand. Probably cycling the Censor. We have double Supreme Will that can get anything from the red decks anyway. Well, gotta be honest, if the opponent's not even playing a 2-drop, I'm just gonna hold it. Because I can play it in combination with cycling the cast out. Oh, he's playing this build of the deck. Well, let's cycle the cast out. Well, I guess if he's playing that build of the deck, that build of the deck has a lot more Chandras and things, right? Eh, cycle it anyway. We need to draw a land. That's not a land, friends. Red Rober, send us a land on over? Thank you. So now we can still counterspell anything that we deem necessary while having a draw 2. I would say this match is typically harder than the normal match. Actually, it's kind of a combo with it because it adds an extra permanent to the board. Like the hour's going to kill their creature either way. So it's just the same as you've used a removal spell in the early game and that creature not being there. Like it's not a non-combo. It doesn't change anything in that regard. But on top of that, like it just adds another permanent to the board, so you can sometimes play the hour for 3 instead of the full 6. Especially if you draw like a couple of them versus the Thopter decks or whatever. But the hour is one of the cards that we're considering cutting out of the sideboard. This is probably worth counterspelling just because they get 2 threats out of it. They still have 5 cards in hand, which is, you know, pretty bad for us. Probably let most other things resolve. Can't let a cast out resolve, but like we let a Glorybringer or a Reality Smasher either one resolve here. The opponent's just not playing anything. That's interesting. They just keep an infinite removal hand deck. Oh wow, we didn't hit a 5th mana. Wow, we didn't hit a mana again. This is multiple times a day that we've just not hit a 5th land over the course of enough turns that I would have assumed we would have hit a 5th land. I mean, I kind of want to counterspell that, but I don't think I can now. It's another card that the Meltdown's just considerably better versus. We have to look for lands. Drastically look for lands. Do I want both of those? Yeah, sure. We'll take both. Well, it's getting worse and worse for us, I would say. Probably not using that Supreme Will on very many things. Probably has to basically be like Chandra power level for me to use it. He didn't play anything again. No lands again. Alright, well there's a land at least. What random card will we discard? Huh, probably a Fumigate. Rivulet looks like it's going to be good this game. Potentially. So that's a Kenya. Thought I'd pressed F6 on that, but apparently I haven't, so that's fine. I'm just going to make him sacrifice this. I still want to hold up, Supreme Will just in case. I have not messed with it as of yet. Not really. What? His creature was going to die anyway. That's odd to me. I've just wanted to. Now he doesn't have the mana to play the Chandra. I've not messed with it any yet. I've not played versus enough blue decks to find it relevant, but if the blue decks are going to be more popular, it's obviously a must include. And we'll just take the land. Also on Moto, or in Paper Magic, I feel like I can time out most of the blue decks, because I feel like they just can't win game one. I feel like I can mill them out of game one almost every game. So we're not worried about him resolving the Chandra here. We have 12 life in hand. And providing we draw an untapped land, he's on a 2-turn clock. But we didn't really draw an untapped land, so... He's still dead, though. I think. Yeah, I'm assuming he's still dead. Just take all the damage that he wants to deal to us. Not that concerned about it. We're going to draw, if we choose to, we can draw the approach this turn. So the Rivulet would have been good, but it's not needed in this spot. We can just look for our land this way. And we don't even need the land because of this. We're going to draw another approach off of the hieroglyph too, which is kind of cool. But if we hadn't drawn this draw 2, we would have been able to discard 4 cards and draw to approach with the Supreme Will, which is kind of the entire plan for putting the Rivulets in the deck. Being able to mill cards and quickly get to the thing. Quickly get to the second approach, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, countering that does things. Well, I guess we don't win then. Interesting. I wasn't thinking about a card like that. That may be an issue. I might take a turn off and just gain 8 life or something. I'm not sure. If he's got a second one of those, we'll actually lose this game, won't we? Very likely to lose this game if he just has a second one of those. I assume they don't have that many of them, but... Alright. I'm mind blown. I was not thinking about that card at all. I guess it doesn't really matter. We didn't see a cast out in any of those cards, and a cast out's what we would have needed to win, so. Also, just having more white sources would have been useful. Yeah. No, things got bad. We've only even got one more kill condition left in the deck, and it can be anywhere, and he has a Chandra ultimate out. I don't think he realized how that worked. Maybe he realized how it worked, I'm not sure, but I don't think he realized how it worked. This game's become interesting. Yeah, in Paper Magic, I felt like I can mill them game 1, and I felt like I can just draw game 2 and 3. Probably can't beat that. Now that one is probably too much. I made a mistake too. I should have censored looking for a Supreme Will. I was talking and not really paying attention. We've gone through 3 Supreme Wills, so the odds of hitting it are emphatically low, but like I still should have taken the opportunity when we had it. As we see a Supreme Will right here, we're just gonna feel kind of sick to our stomach. So we gotta find another approach. Yeah, really had double warping well was nowhere on my radar. I assume we're just dead. We might get one more draw step to find it at best. I just don't see us getting 2 draw steps. Target player gains 4 life. So with the double authority, we'll go up to 16. So even response burn spells wouldn't kill us. So we may get to use a Cataract this turn now too. So 16 back to 11 with all of that stuff resolving obviously, but so 2 burn spells don't kill us. Well, 2 burn spells do kill us, but causes the Chandra trigger. So we pretty much have 3 cards here. Well, If he's got another warping well, we lose. If he doesn't, we probably win. Don't think we can really afford to wait and look. Alright, well, our opponent had 3 warping wells in his top 30 cards without any card draw or any manipulation, so sometimes you just lose. I don't think I had time to look for another, Hey, Jay Still. He just saw us get warping welled 3 times in the game. Alright, well. Still feel pretty favored in this match. I'm gonna bring in all of this sideboardy stuff. Seems kind of fine. Supreme Wills don't seem great. If he's bringing in that many, if he has that many warping wells, it's probably going to go off to approach plan a little bit. Get rid of that thing too, I guess. This is a match that Meltdown seemed to be better than Immolating Glares. This is 2 or 3 times lately that I've thought the games were over and I've just lost. Don't know if I'm getting too confident with the deck, or playing poorly, or if I don't understand the format as well as I thought I did, or what, but... This is the 3rd match in so far. We've got paired versus Teamer. It was a relative wash there. It didn't really matter. We've got paired versus this match, which Effer Meltdown's better versus. And we got paired versus some brew that neither of the cards were good versus. So in our 3-match sample size, I would say that the Meltdown is just better than the Glare. But again, that's a 3-match sample size, so take that with a grain of salt. That's obviously not science or anything. The Rivulets. I've already been kind of impressed by the Rivulet, though. Let's keep calling it River, because Rivulet sounds weird. Thanks for watching, by the way, J Still. Or JJ Still. 87 788. What's up, Sean? That's our real card. Thank you for following Rosebow15. Rosbow. I think we'll probably lose this game if we don't immediately find a Fumigate. Don't think I can Supreme Will anything besides... pretty much anything besides exactly, Chandra. It's probably the only thing I can Supreme Will here, because I think hitting the 5th land's imperative. Sure. Burn spells in my face are less to kill cats. And we like cats and things. Tap. The mana's wrong. So we need an untapped land in our top 5 cards to continue playing. We'll take this one. Put those on the bottom in any order. If they have a Glorybringer, we're in bad shape. If they have a Glorybringer, we're in real bad shape. We're not dead, but we're pretty close to it if they have a Glorybringer. If they have a Chandra, it's not the end of the world. Oh, Well, a third burn spell is pretty close to the end of the world. Hmm. I guess I'd... Do I block or don't I block? Go down to 2 if I don't block, and when I attack I go back to 4. And the Linvala puts me at 9. Attacking the Chandra doesn't do a whole lot. Or you can play the second cat and attack and put it down to 3, and then you can just kill the cat. But we'd gain 4 life, back to 6, being able to block 2 things, but like... I think we have to basically hit a Fumigate from here. Attacking the Chandra's not going to do anything, so I guess blocking's fine. Blocking's just not going to get us anywhere. Pretty much have to have Fumigate. Didn't get Fumigate. Casting this spell doesn't do a lot. Chandra's just basically solo beat us both games, which is something I've been saying over the past 2 days, that this deck really has a large difficulty beating Planeswalkers. We have the 3 cast outs, but it's not feeling like it's enough lately. The team opponent to beat us with Planeswalkers as well. His Chandras is what beat us, not his creatures. We can draw an hour. Might not be dead if we draw the hour. Yeah, we have at least one good out. I sideboarded the hour in, I believe. Let's double check. Yeah, we sideboarded it in. That's our best draw step here. That doesn't do anything. That puts 10 permanents in play as well. Which means we have the opportunity to Glimmer to look for it. It's kind of interesting. But we have to block, I think. Sure. So we at least get to attack Chandra now. And we get to play another cat, which is something. Still in bad shape to a Glorybringer, I guess. He can also buy back that Earthshaker Kenra now. And make the big cat not block. But that's not lethal, so we don't care about that. And that would use all of his mana. We'd actually be in really good shape if he made that play, so that's certainly not a play we're worried about. Kind of wishing that was a meltdown right now. Because it gives us less things to Glimmer into. This game's pretty tight. I'm kind of enjoying it. Our opponent's name is McPopcorn 2001. Mick Paparokornaru. Alright. Interesting. Okay. So he doesn't have a good attack this turn. And we get to kill Chandra. So, oh my. That's a good one. Guess we're gonna go ahead and Glimmer. See what we find. We could just find an hour of Rev here still. Eh. This card not being Effer Meltdown really sucks. Have a lot better attacks this turn if it was. We definitely do not want this card. We may want that card. I'm not sure yet. It beats a second Chandra, I guess, but and we can cycle it if we have to. Really wanted to land this turn, but I got there anyway on the land count anyway. Well, we'll deal with the Chandra, and we have a cast out to deal with multiple things, and we have a Blessed Alliance to deal with multiple things. I'm highly enjoying this game. It's round 3. I'm going to be cutting it pretty close on time today, as I have a doctor appointment I have to get to. Hopefully we're going to try to finish all 5. I'm going to be pretty sad if I don't get to finish all 5. Well, that's a real card. Opponent, again, doesn't have particularly good attacks. They probably should have thought more about their attacks before they just slammed the Karlzev. And if they were going to attack, they should have done it prior to Karlzev. Because the Matter Reshaper could die in combat. And they could get a better card like Chandra or something off of it. Alright, what do we find? Could be anything, even boats, friends. Oh, there's a Fumigate. Yeah, we'll keep both. Oh, and there's an approach. Alright, well, we'll just attack. Attacking with the 2 cats because he may just chump block them, in which case I gain 3 life out of them. Have a cast out for whatever the Matter Reshaper finds, if need be, and we also have a Blessed Alliance. That's the blocks I would have assumed. So I get to gain X. Ooh. Still get to gain an extra life. I love that. You remember when we could have got a boat? Oh, it's a Glorybringer, but he doesn't have the lands for it, and we have a Blessed Alliance, so we're back to 20 life, which is hilarious. I'm gonna hold this cast out for cycling after I've cast to approach, and or for maybe even Chandra. I'm surprised we didn't just dive this game. Yeah, well, we're gonna slam the approach. Maybe we won't get double Warping Weld this game. Or triple Warping Weld. Sorry, it wasn't double, it was triple. Well, there's one. Nice draw. Into Chandra. Alright. This game's certainly not over. I feel like we've taken a large step forward, but it's certainly not over. We have a Glimmer and a Blessed Alliance. He has double Kenra in his graveyard, so if he just draws land, he has 12 points of pain coming at us over the next couple turns. We'll keep the cat. The cat is bad versus... The cat's bad versus Glorybringer, but we still have the 2 1/1s left over, even if that happens, so I guess it's fine. I'm not going to play it till after the Glorybringer's gone, I don't think. Nah, we'll just go ahead and play it. There's no guarantee that he hits the land, and the 2 1/1s can actually do quite a bit. You can do quite a bit, like pressure to Chandra. And we're back to 20 life again. Our opponent has really not drawn lands this game at all. In fairness, it's one of the things that helped him game 1. He's 24 cards deep into his deck and he's only hit 4 lands right now, so I'm sure he's kind of upset. I also think that if he just hit like 2 or 3 more lands and not spells, we would have been in a lot better shape, so... He tapped this instead of another mountain, so he can't even bluff Warping Well now. I don't know why we're pausing in this phase, but that's fine. Alright. It's the most mana efficient way I have to draw. Thank you for following Arthur 1986 PSN. I'll take a draw step, or I have enough mana that I can look a couple times to see if we hit the approach. We can even look one more time. That's not an approach. That's not an approach, so now it's cat attack time. Meow meow. It annoys me to even say meow meow, so I'm sure it has to annoy you guys to hear it. But anyway, that cat would have gave all of those +1/+1 and lifelink, so that would have been 10 points more of lifelink. Maybe we don't need to approach. I think our opponent would have been in a lot better shape this game if he hadn't just slung a couple incendiary flows at our face. Like, dealing with that cat earlier would have been vital. I promise there's an approach in my deck somewhere. There it is. These approaches just may not be any good here, right? I mean, he has Warping Well. Warping Well kind of makes me want to ignore all approaches all of the time. I feel like it's hard to win with just these cards, though. I feel like I'm a bad blue or a bad white-blue deck if I do this. Yeah, let's try being a bad blue-white deck. I've never sideboarded all the approaches out. Yeah, it was for the red deck wins decks. You get some. There actually have a couple in the main deck, and you get some value out of them in other matches, but they're mostly for the red deck wins deck. Alright, well, we have to mulligan. We don't have any color sources of lands, and this hand is atrocious, but I don't think I'm willing to go to 5. Come on, mouse. And we'll put that land on the bottom, because we really just need white sources. I've never sideboarded out every approach. I'm just kind of interested in how it works. Kind of experimenting a little bit this league. A few of the card choices we played, and oh, that's his good 2-drop. So now we need to find one of our good spells. As usual, we're not in good shape. I think I need one more white source in the deck. My paper build does have one more white source at the moment, but I've not got to play it enough to determine whether I like it or not. Would counterspell literally any 3-drop. Hold up Supreme Will, we have to hit another land anyway, so the farmland coming into play tap next turn doesn't seem relevant. Counterspelling a Chandra or something may be relevant. Pretty sure I would counterspell pretty much any threat that comes out this turn as well. I buy. I need to rent. MTGO Traders looks pretty interesting, but sorry, Mana Traders, is that what it's called? Yeah, Mana Traders looks pretty interesting. A lot of streamers that I watch play or use Mana Traders, and I want to get a sub to it, but not really in a good financially sound spot to do that at the moment, so having to hold off on it for just a little bit. So this could be real bad for us. We're going to go down to 11, but I need to go ahead and get that off the table while I can. I do not own cards, though, Ace. That's probably my big problem. Which is one reason you guys see me play the same deck way more than I would like. Well, hit the land for the Chandra. It's going to be hard to beat it. It's not impossible, but it will be hard to beat that now. Especially if he plays anything very good this turn. Yeah, you definitely lose more and more value the longer you rent, that's for sure. So we have to draw exactly a plains? Oh wow, and a plains might not be enough? But we drew exactly a plains. So do we hour? I guess we hour and get rid of Deshandra, right? You do, but like knowing when to buy and sell, you can offset that a lot, and I think it's typically about 8%. But like like certain cards will spike. For example, like Chandra's right now are over 40 ticks. If you sell to Chandra's right now, you will probably be able to buy them back later. Nissa spiked recently. You could have bought in at like 5 or 7 after watching Brad and Corey top 8 the Grand Prix, and then you could have bought, or you could be selling them now. I think they're like 13ish now, give or take. Um, if you're a very good drafter, draft is OP. I guess it's right to cast Hours of Revelation here. I think that's better than just gaining 5 life. Trying to decide. We know he has a Cinderace flows in his deck, and he could have like a Glorybringer in his hand and hit a land, or he could just draw another Sunscorched Desert. So being at 3 life for a turn is a massive liability, but gaining 5 up to 8 and being at potentially 6 is a pretty large liability too. A Glorybringer would still kill us in that spot. Well, no, Glorybringer would still kill us in that spot, but the Incendiary Flow and the Desert wouldn't kill us in that spot. I think we have to risk it. I think having the Limvala post combat, I believe, gives us the largest percentage of winning the game. Even though making the Hours play this turn gives us the largest percentage of losing on the spot. But I don't think if we play this turn and this next turn that we're winning very many games. Because he just gets to these buyback too easily at that spot. And the Hours might not even resolve on another turn because of Warping Well. I'm pretty sure I have to play Hour here, even though I really don't want to, because just way too many spells kill me. Probably has at least 3... Probably he has at least 7 ways to win next turn, and then he can draw... depending on his hand, he could have much more than 7. Could probably have up to 11. That's game. I don't think we win if we play it a different way, though. It's taking the time. Who has the time to read that stuff? So I was hoping my stream would be done at 1 today. It doesn't look like it's going to be done close to 1 because these matches have all been pretty long. I don't have time to read draft stuff. Match started. Today's going pretty poorly. Don't think any of the changes have affected the matchups particularly a large amount. Three twos break even, but 4 1s and better are obviously better. Uh-oh. This is not a good hand to play versus this matchup. Well, this card is absolutely amazing versus me. Oh, Anakinya? Yep. If your opponents have a 1 drop, 2 drop, and a 3 drop with 3 cards still in their hand, you're probably not winning very many games against a red deck. Especially when they have a Beaumont that we're not going to be able to deal with. I wouldn't say that it's 100% over. I would just say I am looking. He sacrificed that. I'm not sure in what world sacrificing Karl Zev's right. I don't want to live in the world that sacrificing Karl Zev over Earthshaker's right. I mean, I don't think it matters. I think we're too far behind either way for it to matter, but I certainly don't want to live in that world. Yeah, I'll counterspell that. I'll counterspell anything I can counterspell at this point. The Supreme Will is not getting better in my hand. Probably have to draw exactly Blessed Alliance now. Yes, you can do that. So they had a second Karl Zev? Sure. They still get the monkey, but... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I guess technically I'm not dead. The last card in his hand has to pretty much be a blank, and everything he gets off the Beaumont Courier pretty much has to be a blank, but... There's a world. Has 2. Can't even guess at a way that I could ever win right now. On the alternative, we would have probably won this game on the play. Probably would have won it on the play. I don't really want either of those, do I? I don't know what I could want, though, to be honest, so. When there's not really a card I want, it makes things difficult. He's drawing 5 brand new cards. 6 for his turn. Yeah. I guess all 5 of his cards could be bad. Draw a couple lands and like a Hazoret. We can beat that. Not very many things we can beat, though. Oh, well, okay. We just lose to that. Sure. Guess we'll make sure the opponent sees it, but... Like, we're dead. Alright. Good enough. All the cats get to come and play. All the Linvalas get to come and play. All the Gearhulks get to come and play. Counter spells aren't great in this match. Fumigates aren't great in this match. Approaches aren't great in this match. What do we got here? Rough running today? Yeah, it's not going very well. But it's not over. There is hope, friends. There is hope, friends. We've not lost yet. I feel like a favorite versus this deck, so. At least we lost quickly. Thank you for following, Frapper1984? Yeah, I'll pretend that's your name. You're welcome. Hey, we broke 20 people watching. It's felt like one of the best cards in the deck for me. We have no early interactive spells, and we have double approach, even though we sideboarded one approach out, so we have to mulligan. We'll keep this, but this hand's terrible. I'm just not going to go to the 5 cards when I have an authority in my hand. This hand's about as bad as it gets, though, so I would be shocked to win this game, unless we draw absurdly well. I'm probably about 80% right now versus the red decks, but like I said, you know, hey, happens. Sometimes you lose. If we lose this match, this will be only the second league in 17 that we've not cashed, which is a pretty decent rate. Need to keep stats like Michael Jacob, but to be honest, I'm not smart enough to use a spreadsheet. There. If you have double one drop, you're going to play double one drop. Sweet, an approach. Exactly what we don't want. There's a good chance I should be sideboarding all 3 approaches out. And just leaving in more sensors and wills. I think there's actually a fairly high chance of that. I don't think that at all. I think the game's nearly a bye. Like, the mono red has really no spells we care about. Chandra's the only card I care about in their entire deck. I mean, we drew none of our 11 2-drop interactive spells here, and if he doesn't play a Chandra, I'm going to assume I still just win this game. And he's obviously had a fairly decent draw. He's not had a great draw, but he's had a fairly decent draw. If he plays a Chandra, we'll lose. Could lose anyway. I'm not saying we'll win, but I'm saying I feel like I'm a favorite to win this game still. As bad as our draw's been. I kind of want the second approach. The second approach means I just have to get to turn 8 and the game's over. It's kind of a loose keep. So I just have to survive 3 turns and I win. Seems pretty good from here. I could draw a lot of things next turn to give me a lot of time. There's a lot of things that he can draw too that makes it pretty bad for me. We'll go ahead and slam a cast out, which is kind of bad for me because he can now just play a Chandra if he wants, but I can't take the damage and survive that many turns. I don't think. Also, don't think I can just let him refill his hand with 7 brand new cards. There's some percentage chance that I can draw another cast out or a Regal Carousel or a Limvala or something, but meh. I think just preventing damage is fine. Oh wow, he's sacking that one. His hand was bad enough to sack for that? He discarded a Glory Bringer and a couple of lands. I'd probably take a Glory Bringer that I can cast that turn over 3 random lands. Or 3 random cards. Not random lands, my bad. Well, pretty happy to draw that one. That probably helps a tremendous amount. Still don't think we're completely out of the woods. But we're obviously in pretty good shape now. Just didn't really play any spells. Back to 17. Down to 15. $12 at the best on the attack. I don't think he can do 15 damage, so. I don't know, I guess he could. A couple burn spells. 2 Incendiary Flows wouldn't even do it. 2 Incendiary Flows and a Shock would. Alright, we win this game. We gotta go to the next game. Hopefully we'll draw more of our early interaction. 4 Data Councils is so good in this match. Not gonna prove it, but I bet I could win this game now without even casting an approach. Maybe I'm supposed to keep the approaches in. I don't know. Whoop, not able to sideboard. I definitely want to make changes to my deck. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Moto, for letting us potentially make changes to our deck. Kind of want the extra sensor in the deck. Them curving out's one of the better ways to beat us. We saw an Abrade in his deck still, which makes me think my Gearhulks are considerably worse. But the Abrades can also hit the Regals, so maybe being able to keep the Torrential Gearhulks just might not be worth it. Alright, we'll try it like this. If I didn't see the Abrade, I would not keep the Gearhulk. This is just another miserable hand. We have no interactive spells, we don't have enough lands. Alright, we'll mulligan again. Alright, well this hand's better than the hands we had, so I guess we'll keep. Put on bottom. This hand's pretty bad too, though. Again, I'll be shocked to win with it. I guess I'll set myself up to cycle to farmland. Be pretty shocked to win with this hand. Well, that was a good draw, and probably will not be cycling to farmland anymore. If, 'He's got a haste creature right here, 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 'He's got a haste creature We're not happy. No, I wouldn't say they're all meh. I just basically want one of the 8 interactive spells and like 3 lands. And I'm pretty happy with the hand. Which is why this game 2 hand looks so much better than the 7 card hand. Sorry, this 3 card hand looks so much better than the 7 card hand, is what I'm trying to say. Well, there's a cast out, so we have some insurance for a Chandra now. Opponent's either A, not drone well, or B, only drone his super high casting cost spells. Either way, that's pretty good for us. Let's go ahead and play the other blue source, I guess. I'm going to take a point of damage here off of these. Not stoked about that. Yeah, he seems like he has a pretty bad draw. The turn 3, why didn't I play it? I want to bluff Supreme Will. Like, I just want him to have Supreme Will on his mind. He might just have a terrible hand where he didn't play any other spells and is looking to try to get to, what you call it? Trying to play, or if I only have 1 mana up, I think there's more of a chance that he just jams. Alright, we'll play this thing. Mostly because even if he has Glorybringer, or even if he has Chandra, we have a follow-up of a cast out and an authority. I'm gonna assume he's got like a Glorybringer or something. It'll depend. I will not know Daniel until after I go to my doctor and what my doctor tells me. Yeah, I don't think he should have kept this hand either. This does not look like a keepable hand. I agree with you. This does not look like, and he didn't have a Chandra or anything, so I have no idea what he could have had. It seems like a very poor keep. Still have the Council, now we even have an Immolating Glare. I mean, he kept a decent hand game too, and it looked fairly trivial. Ah, come on. What has he played that makes it seem like a shit tier version? We don't know that his build's bad. We do know that his keep was bad. We can safely say his keep was bad, but it's pretty hard to say the build's bad. Let's go ahead and Immolating Glare that. We still have a Meltdown for when it comes back. Oh, there's a Hazoret. Have a cast out for the Hazoret even, so... I actually don't know what a good build of this deck is. My opinion on how the red deck should look and how other people's opinions of it look vastly different. I mean, he didn't have time really to cast a Chandra game 1. I believe Chandra is actively a terrible card in this deck. I have played several hundred matches with Mono Red, and Chandra has been main deck the worst card in the deck by a lot. I'm winning about 70% with this deck, and you think this deck's unplayable. Man, I'm right at about 70% still. And most people call this deck just bad. I won about 70% with Mono Red too. I think Mono Red's the best deck in the format. I mean, it just doesn't do anything I want. I think Collective Defiance is proven to be a better card. Some of the problems I have with the deck is I have a problem deciding between shocks, abrades, and incendiary flows of how many of each card I want. Oliver 2 played 1 abrade, 4 flows. Wait, what? I pressed. I guess I'm lagging or something? It's a good thing I have all my stops, though. Oliver 2 played 4 flows, 1 abrade, 3 shocks, but in my testing, 4 abrades have just been better. What do you do burn-wise? I'm gonna go ahead and immolating glare that thing. Well, I guess I'm not going to immolating glare that thing anymore. I'm going to censor this thing instead. But normally I would immolating glare that thing because I don't care if they resolve Nissa. So you don't play any flows at all. Interesting. That's so different than most people. The last builds I played ran 4 shocks, 4 shocks, 4 abrades, 1 flow, 2 defiance was the last builds I had played. I just don't care about that card at all. Pretty much only care about hitting my lands now. I agree. Oliver said that I'm wrong and that it's very good. But I agree. I don't think it seems very good to me. It's been, it was a completely different format since I last tested it though, so I don't want to say verbatim that it's just bad, I feel like I need to test it before I come to that conclusion. He can resolve a Gearhulk here if he wants. It sucks for me, obviously, but not hitting that land and him just waiting and playing around sensor is going to kill me as well. And this gives me the opportunity to maybe I can draw another land if he does have it. Game 1 versus these decks are typically pretty trivial. It comes down to their Gearhulks and their Snakes. There's no amount of cards in the world that's going to make me care about this Nissa or to make me care about this Hissing Quagmire. Let me pull up my last build of the deck. Sorry. It's been a while since I've been on the deck because I've sold Chandras. My last build doesn't even have Chandras in it. I do believe some Chandras belong in the deck. I just like them out of the sideboard a lot more than I like them out of the main deck. Well, that's disappointing. Could be in pretty bad shape now. I think I want to hit my lands, so. Are we just dead if I don't hold up the cast out? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage. Wow. So I guess safe to Glimmer then. It's just 16 damage. And we have to hit the lands. Actually going to put this Glimmer on the bottom, put this land on top. I'm going to play this Plains because there's some percentage chance I'll sacrifice the cast out. Well, I wanted to count and make sure I wasn't dead if he did have a Virtus Gearhulk. Just wanted to make sure it wasn't 20 damage first. If it's not 20 damage, I mean, I'm snapping off the cast out if it's not 20 damage. Or sorry, snapping off the Glimmer if it's not 20 damage. 16 was a lot. I've found Glorybringer to be the best card versus all of those decks. Like, I kind of just want 4 Glorybringers. I saw a build that got paired. I've not saw the 75. I don't know his deck list, but I saw a build the other day where it looked like he was pre-boarded with the Glorybringers and the Chandra's main, and that seemed kind of interesting to me. I'd kind of like to dabble a little bit testing that build. So we're back up to 20. We can stop the Nissa from ultimating if we care. I don't know if we'll care. Really depends on what we draw. If I draw a 7th land, I'm just not going to care. If I miss the land drop, I'll probably cast a cast out. I'm not going to cycle for a cast out though. Definitely not cycling the cast out. Some percentage chance, I guess, that I could want to cycle it if he played something that would make me want to fumigate next turn, but nah. I'm just happy casting the cast out here. Well, not even going to bother if to cast out now. Oh, sweet. Thank you, Motomart. Let's go ahead and hit reject there. Let's remove Motomart from... I never did do this. Oh. Sorry, guys. People trolling. Let's go cast this. He's not going to kill me in enough time, and I don't care if he ultimates the Nissa at all. Yeah, authority's good even versus the decks it's not good versus. It's some viewer is just trolling people. It's fine. It's not that big of a deal. It doesn't bother me any. It is what it is. So we are 7 cards down now. You need to ship us your list, Ace. I would like to see your current 75. Yeah. Just not casting anything again. We can get to our approach this turn, so next turn we win and he's not dealing 29 damage in a turn. And if somehow he miraculously could, we have the Supreme Will and the cast out to protect it. But yeah. So I have to delete these guys from my friends list as well. MTGO Card Mart. Alright, sure. We'll go ahead and accept that guy. Give us 1 second, guys. Sorry about this. I apologize. I was supposed to remove these guys from my buddy list the other day, and I forgot. You can't get the message if you just remove them, so. See mana traders. Just go ahead and remove them all. I never remember to use them anyway. The only reason I have them added at all is for random bots that I still have store credit on that I sometimes forget about. I do a lot of buying and selling. So just remove all the bots real quick so that we don't keep getting that message. Yes, I have no friends. No friends for me. Alright, so should be able to cancel this now, and in theory they can't bother us anymore. In theory they can't bother us anymore. Alright, well, opponent's going to hit us for a lot of damage here. And then we're going to win. Yeah, I want to hit F6. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it's not even close to 30. Oh, well, we'll just take that approach and be done with it then. But yeah, we would have found the approach with the Glimmer. These Authority of the Councils have actually been very good main deck, even versus the non-red decks. I've considered going up to the full floor in the main, but that just seems like lunacy to me. Anyway, versus this particular match, as usual, they could be bringing in Lost Legacy, some of the builds do, and I try to respect Lost Legacy by bringing in the full sideboard plan. It's probably not worth it, and I'm probably sideboarding out too many draw spells to make it worth it. But it's felt like the better plan here. Yeah, it's not been a great day, James, but hopefully we'll salvage... Wait, okay, yeah, I misclicked. There we go. Hopefully we'll at least salvage the 3-2 and get our PD chest and go on about our day. Oh, Ace, also earlier you were talking about good players and bad players and cards they play. I only play friendlies on stream. I don't play friendlies off stream. This hand's pretty miserable. Got a bunch of 6 drops and only 2 lands. This hand's worse. Alright, well, this is the best hand we saw. By a lot, so we'll keep it. We're doing 2 and 2 up a game right now, but we've mulliganed to 5 and we have a not very functionable hand, so could go anyway. I'm certainly running out of time right now as well. Not time here, but I have an appointment to get to. Right now we've added 2 Rivulets over Islands and 2 Glares over Effort Meltdowns. I have not liked the Glares, I have liked the Rivulets. See, right here, again, we don't have a lot of white sources, so this just being Effort Meltdown's already better here. They just have Anissa, it could be bad for us. A Tracker's bad for us as well. It's gonna be one of those weird games where killing a Tracker's better than killing a Winding Constrictor, probably. When you've cast your approach, it mills 4 cards, so it plus a Supreme Will or it plus 2 Cyclers lets you get to your approach quicker. It just like gets 4 dead cards off the top of your deck to try to cast a second approach. There's also some corner cases where it's good in the mirror. It's good versus other control decks, because versus other control decks you're trying to mill them. In the mirror you can just hit their approach when you know where it's at. And then there's some of those reanimator decks where they mill the crap out of themselves and you can actually just kill them with Rivulets as well. But for the most part, it's just to make it a little bit more consistent, drawing your approach, your second approach, a little more often. So yeah, this game's not going well, but again, we mulliganed to 5, and he had a pretty good draw, so that's kind of interesting. We're definitely just going after the tracker here. A, this is the card that another Transgress would be good versus, and B, an Immolating Glare and a Blessed Alliance still kill the Winding Constrictor and whatever he plays. And if he tries to outweight us, we have too high of a chance to just draw like... Well, that was interesting. So he definitely mistapped something there. I wonder what he was going to play. Anyway, if he tries to outweight us, we can just get to Fumigates. That's not a bad draw step in this particular spot, but again, we're down 2 cards and he's drawn an extra card from the tracker, so... Need to draw pretty well here. The Gontis are pretty good versus us, in general. So he's up another card on us. He's up 4 cards on us now. I don't think not attacking really does anything. Because again, we're a Fumigate deck, so just playing around these cards lets me get the Fumigate. And then I still have my cards for the post-Fumigate. I would rather our opponent 1-for-1 us than be able to like draw in spots where they can 3-for-1 us and stuff. Because if he wasn't willing to attack that turn, he probably also wasn't going to attack the following turn. When we played the black-green deck, we didn't have Gontis in our deck, and I think that was one of the reasons that we did so poorly. I think the Gontis are kind of vital, to be honest. Hopefully he doesn't draw anything too great off those cards. Could technically use a Rivulet on ourselves to try to draw better cards for our Gearhulk to hit. Oops. I'm actually all about just preventing as much damage as I can with this deck. This deck plays out more like a Turbo Fog deck than a control deck, which is one of the reasons I think a lot of people don't have success with the deck. I think they try to play it as a control deck. But like I said, I'm just willing to counterspell anything. I don't care if they cast... pretty much don't care if they cast anything. Can't think of a card in their deck. Liliana would be a little annoying, but when I see the cards that we're seeing, I don't even expect to see a Liliana very often. I'm actually just going to go ahead and play this thing, even though it seems kind of like I'm wasting it. I could gain 4 life with the Blessed Alliance and block, but he could still have a couple Grasp in or whatever. He could have got a Lost Legacy, or he could have got a Cast Out or whatever from my deck. He could have got a Fumigate from my deck. Like, there's no guarantee that this Torrential Gearhulk does anything. Yeah. Oh well. We're momentarily ahead in the race. do say momentarily, because it's probably not likely to stay that way. Alright, it's a Nissa. Nissa's a card I don't care about. Guess he's contemplating on whether he's turning the Linvala into a 6/6 or okay. Nice, he's casting Lost Legacy on me. I'm fine with that. I don't care about either of the two approaches in our deck. It does give us a lot thinner options of ways to win, but we're pretty close to even right now. He's got one more card that we don't know about, and he's ahead on board, but we're drawing 2 cards. Doesn't take much to be very far ahead here. Well, we don't have the lost, or we don't have the, hmm. We don't have the approaches anymore, so him getting the ultimate, that is a real threat. I'd say our opponent's pushed fairly far ahead now. Alright, well, we don't care about the Advocate a whole lot. We're now just trying to get to a cast out. He's gonna play the 1 card in our hand. Oh, he gets to draw 2. Well, that's great for him. They did not have, and that's not great for us because of the Tireless Tracker over here. It's probably right to go ahead and cast it, though. He's going to get 1 extra card draw, but kind of have to kill or have to get rid of the Nissa. This is one of the reasons we don't like this card in the deck, and we started with more in the sideboard, but we're down to 1 now. And this card is on the chopping block. It's one of the 5 cards in the sideboard that are potentially getting shaved and or removed entirely. They played their land last turn, so they might not have a land, which would be fine. Even if they do, at this point it's only just 1 card. Maybe the 1 card doesn't matter that much. We don't know. We're just really hoping it's not a Transgress or another Nissa. It was another Nissa, but that's fine. We still have 2 more cast outs that we've not saw. They did, in fact. They played a land that turn, though, and I wasn't paying attention to if it's the land they'd played or not. I'm kind of on a time frame right now. and becoming less and less focused because of it. Well, that one doesn't do anything really. I mean, it does things, but doesn't do anything compared to what we care about, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I'd like to draw a draw two. Our opponents played more of our draw twos than we have this game. As in the fact they've played one and we've played none. Well, that's a good one. That's pretty much exactly the card we want. Linvala, I guess, would have been a little bit better, but there's only one Linvala left in the deck. Sure. They have to keep attacking. We'll get this draw two. We'll cast our draw two. And we hit another draw two. Or we didn't hit another draw two, we hit the cast out we've been wanting, sorry. So he does have Traversy Thingy Nowy. Like I said, I call it Traversy Thingy. Delirium. He has Delirium now. I'll spit it out, boys. And he went and got a green Gearhulk. Sure. So I think we've taken the advantage bar back a little bit now. Go ahead and get the green Gearhulk here. Or sorry, the Nissa here. I'm going to try to gain a little life. I'm going to go ahead and play the island too. Lets me have the opportunity to Blighted Cataract, have a land, and then play something else on the following turn as well. That was our third Fumigate, so getting thinner now on our decent draws. We can play a cat now. Go go cat. Go go cat ranger. And we have a Linvala as well. The Linvala will put in a lot of work if he doesn't have a Transgress. Well, he has a Tireless Tracker. That's bad. What's up, Jonathan? 1121111. How are you? Things are definitely going to get tighter now that he has a Tireless Tracker. I'd say he probably has the advantage bar again. Ananissa, wow. Opponent drew practically perfectly that turn. After a meltdown doesn't do a lot here. That's good. Just trying to send this guy into doom. There's a chance I could have played two of them, but he can always sacrifice the Elder Silence, so it doesn't even really do any good for me. I'd say we have to draw another Glimmer in our next one or two draw steps to even have a chance. But that may be inaccurate. Well, friend, he put the card on the bottom, so at least he did that. Oh, definitely playing Linvala. Alright, well, that one doesn't do anything, so we're fine with that. He doesn't really get to even attack this turn unless he minuses. Then I assume he doesn't attack anyway? Yeah, doesn't attack anyway. Didn't really have a good attack there. We've drawn 16 of our lands so far, so there's 9 more in the deck. Still just want to draw a Glimmer. A Glimmer is the card that we want the most. Traverse isn't good for us. He can go get another Gearhulk now and do lots of different things. Oh, we got a Walking Ballista. That's even better than a Gearhulk. So we probably now have to find our last Fumigate. And it may not even be good enough. So he can -4. Oh, I want to try to kill that, so. He'll probably use his Walking Ballista to shoot one of these guys. Maybe both. But I'd be willing to make this trade if he just allows it. Sure. Sure. Pretty much need to draw a Fumigate, maybe a Walking Ballista, or maybe a Glimmer into a Fumigate. Another land certainly doesn't do anything. Our opponent's drawn the same amount of cards as we have, yet we've drawn 17 lands to his 11, so pretty bad for us. Are you shooting that one down? Could be dead. I'm not doing the math. I'm too lazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, not dead. Alright. Well, to have any chance, we have to draw our Fumigate this turn. That's just another land. Alright, well, we drew 9 more land than our opponent. Or maybe it was 8. I don't know. But we drew practically the same amount of cards, so that's fairly ridiculous. It's fairly ridiculous. We'll cut out this extra meltdown here and add in another draw 2, I think. And we're going to run it back. And we'll play first. And we have to mulligan again because we get no lands some games, all lands other games. Yeah, we'll keep this hand. This hand's very, very, very bad. I'm not willing to go to 5 though. You just lose so much equity with every mulligan. feel like we've done a lot better today if we've even had average land draws across today. I kind of feel like once I add another non-basic land to our deck that Modo doesn't understand how to shuffle anymore. Thank you for following Kid Fetish, Yerden, Jonathan, Pyrie, Stranges Now, and Frap. For those of you that are new here, there's a link down below to the Twitter. On the Twitter, you'll find all the deck lists we play and every time we go live. You'll also find a link to my YouTube down there. Alright, so I feel pretty good about this hand, providing we draw about 7,614 lands, basically in a row. I guess keeping the censor wouldn't have been god-awful. We would have been able to censor this turn or cycle it this turn, either way. Can't think of anything that I would censor here. I probably wouldn't even have censored a snake with how few of the lands we have. We're hating the fact that this rivulet's not an island now. Oh, their best draw, how cute. If they have a Transgress or a Lost Legacy, we probably can't win anymore. Might not be able to even win if they do have those spells, but... thank you, Prairie Stream. Exactly when I wanted to draw all, or 4 of our 8 come into play tap lands. Probably can't win if they have the Transgress or a Lost Legacy for Fumigate, and we probably have to hit the land even if they do. Casting that the turn prior to an opponent being able to untap with Fumigate. And we don't get there. Well, that's a little discouraging. We die to basically everything now. We die to Walking Ballista, we die to land, we die to... just practically everything now. We die to Blossoming Defense, but had any of these lands come into play untapped, I'm pretty sure we run away with the game. Have to kill this one, or have to target this one even though I don't really want to because I have to get a 4 power. If we don't get a 4 power, we just die. If he's got a Walking Ballista, we still just die. Oop, he's not slamming it, so I guess we get another turn. Oh. He didn't just slam it, so I guess we at least get another turn. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and gain our 2 life. Should have played my land first so I could just press F6. Again, should have pressed, so I could have pressed F6. There's a number of things that we won't beat now. There's a number of things we will beat now. Not sure the game would have been particularly close to losable if we'd had the appropriate amount of life. Don't care about that card. Again, he has to have a snake for that card to matter. Or sorry, he has to have a Walking Ballista for that card to matter in this spot. Yeah, we'll just play something that puts the most amount of blockers out there. If he draws the Walking Ballista, he draws the Walking Ballista. If it's a Veritas Gearhulk, it's not that big of a deal. Alright, not worried about that card either. So could lose everything and block like that to get rid of one of his things, but getting rid of one of his things probably doesn't matter. To attack the Nissa or not to attack the Nissa? I guess if we attack the Nissa, we're just dead, right? Attacking the Nissa probably just kills us. Kind of interesting game now. He's not attacking with the Quagmire, so it's kind of scary. Kind of makes me feel like he drew a Walking Ballista. Yeah. I guess we didn't sideboard out the Immolating Glares, so it's probably worth glimmering for. To try to stay at an appropriate amount of life. Do we want both of those cards? I'm not sure we want either. And I'm not sure we don't want both. Alright, we'll keep both. Now we have kind of an interesting spot now to where if we Blessed Alliance and he has a Walking Ballista, we're dead. But we can beat a Walking Ballista now. With extremely fortunate luck, I mean, but technically could beat a Walking Ballista now. I think it's fine to use the Blessed Alliance. This kind of makes me wish I had Glimmered pre-combat, but he could have removal spells. Probably didn't have removal spells, but he could have. Exclamation mark deck list. I guess we're going to take the 5 damage either way. Is saving the cat worth it? Saving the cat has to be worth it, and if they have Walking Ballista, we just die, right? Is the MTG bot down? Or is it just whispering people? Huh. Alright, let me pull up the deck list for you then, since I guess MTG bot's down. Sorry about that. There you go. I apologize that the bot's not working. This was a pretty rough spot. Walking Ballista is the only card I care about. So Playing a Blessed Alliance now, Walking Ballista kills us. Not playing a Blessed Alliance lets us gain a bunch of life for the following turn. Am I willing to die to a Blessed Alliance? Or am I willing to die to a Walking Ballista? I don't think so. Probably can't beat a Walking Ballista either way, can I? I'm assuming they don't have Walking Ballista either, because they pretty well had to draw it exactly this turn, because they could have killed us on last turn or the turn before. So I'm assuming they don't have it. Just even if they have it, it's probably fine. I think this is the better play. I mean, we could lose right now, but I think it's still the better play. Even if we lose, I think this is the better play. So we continue to take our 5 down to 2, and if we see him tap a whole bunch of mana, we know we're dead. Alright, well, he didn't tap a whole bunch of mana, so didn't die. Not dying is always a bonus. Now what? Oh, Fumigate. That's what. No, probably not casting the Fumigate. Probably just playing a cat and attacking. So we gain 4 life from this attack cat, and he can block and trade if he wants, but that's 1 less attacker if he trades. Either way, we go to 6. So either way, we go to 6, and we still have 4 life we can potentially gain in play, and we can still draw or block the Walking Ballista. I don't think so. We would have only gained 3 life, and he still has the Hissing Quagmire, and he still has the Nissa in play. I believe that I can just chump block and get a Fumigate in on a later turn. I'm pretty sure I can just Fumigate, or get the Fumigate in on a later turn. And get a better spell out of his hand, potentially. Between the Torrential Gearhulk, the now Counterspell, and the Fumigate, I'm pretty sure I can just get it in on another turn. When he's added something to the board that matters. As of right now, he's not added anything to the board that matters. Oh, a Cast Out. That's a good one. So he's going to cast out my cat. I guess we could Supreme Will that. That leaves us a blocker for the next turn. Oh, I'm supposed to be into shower now. Oh crap, I hit snooze. Screw snooze. Yeah, we still have a Gearhulk, right? So we're still not dead. He can have that. We can definitely Gearhulk here into Glimmer or Gearhulk here into Blessed Alliance. And then have a Fumigate on the following turn. If he doesn't attack with anything that matters, we can just Fumigate the following turn. The Lost Legacy. I guess if it's a Lost Legacy, I should go ahead and slam the Gearhulk now, because there's some percentage chance that he just casts the Gearhulk, right? Or some percentage chance that he just targets the Gearhulk. I think this game's probably going to come down to a counter. Oh, you're right. He can't cast it. Sorry, I'm thinking of Dispossess. You're right. I'm thinking of Dispossess. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll keep both. You guys are right. My bad. Yeah, I'm thinking of Dispossess. Sorry. So there was practically no reason for me to do that then. Now he gets to see my hand. I don't think this game. I think this game's going to come down to timeout. Our opponent's got 25 seconds left, so it's kind of a shitty way to end the stream. I make a pretty stupid play. And now opponent's down to 15. Sure. He's down to 6. We'll block that one, and we'll block this one. Blessed Alliance probably seals it, but can look for another cat here, basically. Immolating Glare would be nice. 1,000 lands, however, not nice. Opponent's definitely ahead, but I don't want to concede because the game's not just over. I don't like to win by timeout, but I don't want to concede a game that's not just over. Whatever. So... And it's not going to let us draw our cards. Like, if we did an Immolating Glare off of these 4 cards, we would have been in great shape, I think. And it's not going to let us draw. Oh well. It's kind of a poopy way to end a league, but we ended the league. I have to go now. I've got a real life doctor's appointment that I gotta try to get to. But besides that, I want to thank all of you guys for watching today. I appreciate it. I try to stream practically every day. Sorry that I'm kind of like pausing on what I'm saying right now. I'm trying to look for somebody to host. Down below, there's a link to the Twitter. On the Twitter, all the deck lists I play are there. All of the all the deck lists I play there. Every time I go live's there. And on my Twitter, there's also a link to my YouTube. And on my YouTube, you get to see all of these decks of the day and stuff like that. For the changes today, we had tried these Immolating Glares and we had tried these Rivulets. The Glares just did not seem good. I like After Meltdowns much more. The Rivulets come up in multiple spots where I thought they were going to be great, but every time I thought they were going to be great, I top decked like a random spell, so they never mattered. But overall, I think they earned their keep, even though they never got activated. There's just too many situations where they could have potentially been good. I still think the deck probably needs to cut 1 island for 1 more plains. And the 6 sideboard slots that we're considering cutting, the 5 sideboard slots that we're considering cutting were all under impressive as usual. I really don't know what to do with the sideboard. I can't think of any cards better than these 5 cards, but like these 5 cards have never at any point impressed me. So it's something that I have to put some more thought into. I mean, this is kind of sad that we're now like 90-ish matches in with this deck, and I still can't think of sideboard cards that matter. So out of the people that are streaming at the moment, I see somebody streaming a modern deck. I don't really host modern players, and then there is a zombies player, and then there's Thundermo. Thundermo's streaming a pretty cool deck, but the Candio just streams that deck so much. Yeah, this is what I say about this deck. This deck is basically Turbo Fog. People think this deck is a control deck, but this deck plays out a lot more like Turbo Frog than anything, or Turbo Fog than anything. But anyway, I appreciate you guys following me. Follow if you like. follow to Twitter, follow to YouTube, whatever. I need about 3,000 more likes on YouTube or views, so that would be great. But anyway, I'm going to host somebody and I'm going to stop rambling because nobody wants to hear me ramble. She's been on the Pro Tour before and she's testing zombies for her RPTQ, I think. So, probably get some decent gameplay. Anyway, I hope it's a good stream and enjoy your guys' day.